We'll talk a little bit about schools. As Annie said, 5 years ago, just about right now, we got word one night, after all these victories, after all these good things happened in the community, just out of the blue, the district wanted to close Webb Middle School, our middle school. And I was a teacher, and I went to a principal in another school said, hey, there's this meeting tonight, and they're going to close the school. And so I went, it was packed, and I just was stunned. I'd never heard of closing a school as a school improvement strategy, that if you close somebody's school, it actually makes them do better as a student. And I thought it was insanity. I heard about closing a school if the roof were falling in or something like that, but this was just the dumbest thing I'd ever heard. And I hate to say it, and I consider myself friends with Dr. Forgione now, and I think we've forged a good relationship, which again is part of leadership, is you don't have enemies. You build bridges, you talk about issues, you don't hate people, you hate issues, problems, you have differences of idea. But he'll admit he was terrible that night. He said it's the worst thing he did during his administration there. He just communicated very poorly, and I felt he was abusive to the parents and the students in the community. He basically said, it's your fault this is closing, not our fault. You guys have failed. We're closing your school. And I got up and spoke. You get in line and you speak. I had never spoken at a public political thing. I was very unpolitical. But I got up and said my little shaky thing, whatever, like, this is not right. But I went home and said to my wife, I said, honey, this is not going to happen. Now, this is where you talk about leadership being persistent, courageous, stubborn. I think stubborn is another way to put it. So I just want, when you see something or hear something that's morally wrong, you just know that is wrong. It doesn't matter whether you are the right or wrong person to lead it or your experience. If you feel deeply something is wrong, then you step in and do it. And so many great leaders, they haven't taken a leadership course. They haven't gotten a PhD in leadership. They've just recognized something's wrong and they've stepped in. So I said this isn't going to happen. So the next night we got together about 40 people. We were organized. It was very easy to call up 40 people and get them into a meeting and develop a plan. And by the next Tuesday night, when the second public meeting was held at Reagan High School about this, we had a lot of people there, and we said no. And we had TV cameras there. TV loves a fight. And Andy knows this, but I called them up an hour before, and I said, you want to come tonight? It's going to be a fight. And they came, and we just said, no, you're not going to do it. And we had 1 month before the board was going to vote. And it was an uphill battle because the board, they were all convinced this was the best thing. And after about 2 weeks, one of the board members and then another and another began to recognize the moral nature of this, that kids on the east side deserve a neighborhood school as much as kids on the west side. A place they can walk to, a place their parents can reach easily, a place that they can call theirs. And one by one, the board, and by a month went by, they voted 9-0 to keep the school open. Well, even more than that, I had a lot of school background and know a lot about school reform, or I knew enough, and I knew enough about what the community wanted. We talked through it to put together a plan. And we said, this is what we think how the school could turn around. And so I emailed it to the board, and they also voted to accept that plan and work with it. So we worked together with the district for about 7 weeks, got it into shape, and it still today is the plan on which Webb is working. And we found just basic things missing. And one of the things that was missing at the school, and a lot of it we got through interviewing the teachers. I asked the principal, can I talk to all the teachers in small groups? And we spent a day talking to the teachers. But one thing that Webb had going wrong was that the teacher said it's very unstable. We never know who's going to be in class. It'd be kind of like in your class, if this table were gone one day, and this table were gone the next day, and this table was gone for 2 months and then came back. And then 10 more kids, new kids came in during the week. And they said it's just all over the place because these families are so unstable. They're poor families. They're moving from hotel to hotel, $99 rent place to $99 rent place. And they're going from school to school. And we call it, there's a term, student mobility. The district estimates between 2 to 4 weeks are missed every time a kid leaves. Like they leave Webb one day and they arrive at Burnett 4 weeks later. So kids miss large amounts of school, and that's what was happening at Webb. So we said, first off, we got to stabilize families. So we got together over 30 partners, including the City of Austin, Travis County, Seton, People's Community Clinic, just this long list of partners together, and formed a family resource center to bring social services right there to the school. And we're in our 5th year, and this year we will case manage over 200 families with bilingual full-time case workers or social workers. We've got an insurance specialist. And we will help probably close to 500 families with services. So these are homeless families. We will get them into housing. We'll get them jobs. This is all done at the school. And now the idea is spread, and we serve 11 campuses through that idea. But we needed to stabilize schools. So we got in there as a community, and we said, the district obviously is doing what it can. We didn't blame them, but we said they need help. And we need to take responsibility for Webb. And so we stepped up and did that. And it's been a great partnership. In fact, I've got a meeting after this down at the district about some other schools and similar kind of work. So we took responsibility. I was going to say one other thing about Webb. And
student achievement.
well, yeah, and the student achievement right now, Webb has gone from being in the bottom quarter to the top quarter of middle schools in the state of similar schools. And what was amazing was the kids, by the way, the kids got inspired and the teachers got inspired. They were so discouraged. They got inspired, and the kids ended up passing their tax test. That, which may seem to you not much, but when you've got kids that half the school is English language learners, immigrant kids, very unstable, for the school to pass was amazing. And they've passed and done well. They keep moving up every year since. 6 months later, the U.S. Secretary of Education, Margaret Spellings, at the time, actually came to visit Webb. She was coming to Texas, and she wanted a success story. And she called around, she found out about Webb, and she came and visited the school. And she said, this is a school where parents should want to send their kids. Now, 6 months earlier, they were the school that didn't deserve to be open. And now they're the place everybody should want to send their kids.